And now I'd like to introduce Monica Stephenson. Monica is current president of Ethical Metalsmiths, owner of ANZA Gems, and one of the co-collaborators, I never know how to refer to you guys, of the Moyo Gems project. So Monica's going to talk to us about Ethical Metalsmiths. Not on? I saw that lip sticking out from way over there.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the 6th annual Responsible Jewelry Conference, which actually was surprising to me to hear yesterday. I think I've been here for all of them. Today I'm wearing my other hat, which is as the president of the board of Ethical Metalsmiths, a nonprofit that inspires responsible jewelry practices in the industry. We were founded in 2004 by our own Christina Miller here and Susan Kingsley as a kind of direct response. It sounds like 2004 was fairly pivotal for a number of people kind of learning where gold and other things are actually sourced. So it has its roots in grassroots activism and in sort of challenging the status quo and kind of searching for answers that make sense for everyone in the jewelry supply chain. For the past couple of years, Susan has asked the education committee to representatives to come, sometimes students themselves, and introduce the work that EM is doing on the education side, which is super vibrant, really amazing, sort of a part of EM that really addresses that the student side and the emerging jewelers, and this is our kind of next generation. So they do important work. This is Susie Ganch here. They're not able to make it today, so we're going to just scroll through some slides that they've prepared just to kind of show you some of the things that they're working on, particularly around Radical Jewelry Makeover, which is a really important program for EM that I think they would describe it as a community mining and jewelry recycling project. And so they have donated jewelry that's already been out in the marketplace, whether that's fine, fashion, kind of everything in between, and they rework these pieces into truly works of art. And the really exciting project, it's exciting this year because it's gotten a lot of press, a lot of play beyond just kind of speaking to the choir, right? And there's actually going to be an incredible exhibition of, I think, 25 of these pieces at Barrio Nino, and Barrio is here, and in Brooklyn. So if you're in New York for New York City Jewelry Week, there's a ton of really interesting things happening that week, actually encompassing a very inclusive group of jewelry, not just super fine, high, but kind of everything, very experimental, really amazing stuff. The reception will be November 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. So please, if you're in New York City, and it might be worth the trip actually. So in addition to Radical Jewelry Makeover and some of that press that's been happening, EM has been working on a lot of, I think, really cool, new, exciting things. We started a blog called The Source, which really makes information that is not usually readily talked about or written about in the jewelry industry accessible to everyone. It's open source, it's on ethicalmetalsmiths.org. Constantly looking for new content for that. We look for new writers, so if anyone is interested in contributing, I think it's a really important, vital way that we get our information out into the broader market. We also started an action coalition. In 2020, it was identified that that was a big goal for us to continue that activism work. And in 2021, we formed an action coalition that encompasses any number from student to emerging jeweler to the board members who really want to just kind of dig in, roll up their sleeves, and actually get to work on some things that probably we're talking about in this room over the last couple of days. So far, they did an incredible collaboration with bringing a film about Amazon Gold to the Women's Jewelry Association. So again, looking to collaborate with other organizations and get the message out to a much broader audience. They've also kind of interviewed with suppliers and actually talking about some of the issues that are in the marketplace. Suppliers have been very open, and this is engagement is how we kind of move things forward. So there's also maybe an initiative to explore what it would mean to have a meaningful dialogue with consumers about responsible issues. So there's some really exciting things happening there. And the Action Coalition also did, thank you Alyssa Thorpe and her team for heading up a survey that is going to try to measure the awareness of responsible practices out in the broader marketplace. And there's a lot of data that came from that survey that we're actually going to be presenting pretty soon and publishing for the industry to understand where we're at in that journey. And then EM can kind of gear up and figure out what resources do we need to help people with some of those specific issues. So to connect with members, we did a town hall for the first time this year. And again, kind of listening, what do you need, what kind of resources can we provide, what as a community we can do for each other to kind of move these conversations forward. So really at its heart, EM is a community that cares. And we care about the same things that are being talked about in this room and beyond. And our communities overlap with the Chicago Conference. Yesterday it was kind of talk about the need for collaboration and engagement. And I think we can take this learning, this awakening, sometimes our outrage, and maybe we can channel it into something actually productive for the whole industry. So I welcome you to join us. We have lots of different memberships in different levels, different stratas. It's an all-volunteer board. If maybe the board members and advisors could raise their hands or stand up or, yes. And if you have questions, please seek us out, find us. We're happy to help, and kind of that's what we're really about is a community. And Barbara Wheat, that is also with us. Okay, she's not volunteer entirely, but she is our new fearless executive director. So, join us, find your people. We're here.